is when some of the laws were passed or considered, as well as some of the appointments that the governor is now being accused of having done them outside the law were done. Also, the appointment and selection of a panel for recruitment of the chairperson, secretary and members of the Nyamira County Public Service Board without the approval of the County Assembly. Some of the articles that the governor is accused of violating: the Article 10 of the Constitution of National Values and Principles of Governance requires the observance of the rule of law, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Article 73 and 74 of the Constitution of Kenya outlines the responsibilities of state officers and the principle of public service, demanding objectivity, impartiality, and accountability. And also Article 232, Subarticle 1 of the Constitution sets the values and principles of public service, requiring efficient use of resources, transparency, and fair competition and merit. Under these articles, the governor is accused to have appointed a selection panel for the recruitment of the chairperson, secretary, and members of the Nyamira County Public Service Board without the approval of the County Assembly of Nyamira, and that the governor willfully circumvented the legitimate constitutional approval process, rendering the appointment unlawful, and also that the selection panel proceeded to invite, also shortlist, and conduct interviews for applicants for the positions of chairperson, secretary, and members of the Nyamira County Public Service Board in total defiance of clear judicial and senatorial pronouncements, and also that these actions then are contrary to constitutional principles and undermines public service integrity. So in their submissions, the County Assembly has pointed out on a number of articles of the Constitution of Kenya that, as they accuse the governor of gross violation of the Constitution of Kenya, have highlighted various articles to be able to back their accusations up. The Senate is about to resume its sitting this afternoon. This day is allocated for hearing and determination of the proposed removal from office by way of impeachment of the governor of Nyamira County, Honorable Amos Nyaribo, facing a number of allegations, 2 grounds. One that being that of abuse of office, and the second one regarding gross violation of the Constitution of Kenya. However, these allegations, after they had been read out to the governor this morning, who took the stand to take a plea, pleaded not guilty. Now this renders the matter in the hands of the legal teams of both sides, that is the governor's side and the County Assembly members' side, to be able to give a clear picture on why the governor should be impeached or why the governor should not be removed from office by way of impeachment. Just to remind you, is that there were preliminary objections that were raised by the governor's legal team on the threshold, indicating that the matter is lifeless and should not in any case proceed to the next stage, raising a number of issues, one being the 2/3 threshold, And also another issue rose from the voting by proxy on whether the County Governments Act allows that. So those are issues that, as the governor's legal team gave out their preliminary remarks, also brought up some objections on that whole motion, indicating that it does not hold water and that it should not in the first place even move to the next stage. But their words or their position was quickly countered by the legal team from the County Assembly, indicating that in fact the matter or the motion met all the requirements and the threshold, and that it should not be dismissed at this point, but move to its logical conclusion for the evidence also to be presented. The Speaker should be coming to give a ruling on that, as he had directed before the House went on a lunch break. And now that the members are back, the Speaker is also expected to make his way into the chamber first to give a ruling on these particular preliminary objections that will give an understanding on where this particular matter stands, whether it will continue or the ruling will be in favor of the governor side. That is to be made clear when the Speaker makes his ruling. But this is the resumption of the hearing and determination on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the governor of Nyamira County, a matter that began this morning. The members of the Senate, being a full house, this matter is being considered at the plenary. Senate standing orders allows that such a matter could be considered by way of committee or plenary, that is full house when all the members are inside the chambers, or by way of committee. However, there was such a motion that was moved in the House last week for the matter to be considered by an 11-member committee. However, that matter flopped, rendering the motion to be considered by the whole House, that is by the full House of the Senate, each senator being able to follow up on the presentations and submissions that the two parties are presenting for this, or rather regarding this matter. But remember, if the Speaker rules in favor of the County Assembly, that is for the matter to be able to continue, or the motion to be able to continue, then both sides will have an opportunity to bring on board their evidence, especially the accusers of the governor's conduct will be required to present evidence, either by witnesses who will take the stand and take an oath that whatever it is that they are presenting before the House is nothing but the truth. Also, if there is any video, or if there is any audio, or if documents that the members of County Assembly deem fit for it to be presented as evidence or submitted as evidence that would support the charges that they have leveled against the governor, then that particular moment will come by. But if the Speaker rules in favor of the governor's legal team, that say that the matter or the motion does not hold water, then that would mean perhaps that matter is rested. We shall continue to take a look at some of the allegations the governor is facing this afternoon. Remember, in the morning sitting, he took plea and pleaded not guilty. So all that will be made clear as the proceedings go on. The governor is accused also of abuse of office by improper use of his authority in recruitment of staff without approved budget. Some of the articles that the members of the County Assembly indicate were violated include Article 10 of the Constitution on national values, Article 73, 74, and 75 on the responsibilities of state officers and the principles of public service, as well as Articles 201 subarticle A, D, and E of the Constitution of Kenya, regarding openness and accountability, including public participation in financial matters, that public money shall be used in a prudent and responsible way. E indicates that financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. The County Assembly indicates that the governor presided over and influenced the approval of recruitment of staff without an approved budget. They have attached County Executive Committee minutes that were recorded on the 26th of February 2021, of course in his response to an inquiry from the Controller of Budget, that the recruitment approved by the County Executive with full knowledge that there was no budgetary provision for that particular recruitment to be able to take place. Under the abuse of office, the governor is as well accused of personal enrichment from receipt of irregular salary arrears amounting to 5.6 million Kenya shillings. The Constitution indicates that there shall be openness and accountability, including public participation in financial matters. Public money shall be used in a prudent and responsible way, and that financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. And whereas Article 234A of the Constitution of Kenya mandates the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to set and regularly review the remuneration and benefits of all state officers, as well as Section 97 of the Public Finance Management Act requires public funds to be used in accordance with the law and for the purpose for which they were appropriated. Also, Section 46 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003 provides that a person who uses his office to improperly confer a benefit on himself or anyone else is guilty of an offense. The members of the County Assembly indicate that in September 2021, through the facilitation of two cherry-picked officers, that is Mr. Godfrey Kiriago, the Director Human Resource, and Imelda Nyaberi, the Payroll Manager, the governor conferred upon himself an irregular salary payment christened as arrears and amounting to 5.6 million Kenya shillings. The MCAs also further indicate that there were no outstanding arrears due to the governor since his assumption to office had neither was he owed any arrears as Deputy Governor. These are some of the accusations that the governor is facing this afternoon. Matters that have made their way to the Senate, and this afternoon the business or the procedure in the hearing and determination continues. The Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amos Nyaribo, is in the chamber to resume this debate. Allow me to hand